1773, Boston was a powder keg. The British Empire had imposed the Tea Act, forcing colonists to pay levies on their favorite import while denying them a voice in Parliament. We know how this plays out in the history books. A group of colonists storms the harbor and tosses hundreds of chests of imported tea straight into the saltwater. It is a loud, highly visible protest. But protests don't buy gunpowder. When gearing up for an armed rebellion against the most powerful empire on Earth, you have to pay for the physical mechanisms of war. Muskets, flint, and rations require hard currency. Pitching valuable inventory into the ocean does absolutely nothing to fill a revolutionary war chest. Let's run a counterfactual. Imagine the rebels looked at those anchored ships and saw exactly what was sitting in the cargo hold: immense monetary value. What if, instead of destroying the tea, they stole it to finance their impending war? We'll call this the Sawdust Party. In this timeline, the Sons of Liberty carefully extract the tea leaves, replace them with cheap wood dust from the local mills, and smuggle the real product out to sell on the black market. That single adjustment reorients the rebellion. The movement adopts the mechanics of a sustained, self-funding enterprise. It's midnight in Boston Harbor. The target is 3 British vessels anchored in the dark: the Dartmouth, the Eleanor, and the Beaver. Dozens of operatives slip past the harbor watch and board the decks. Instead of axes and war paint, they carry heavy burlap sacks packed to the brim with fine sawmill dust. The crews work with mechanical precision. They pry open the wooden chests, scoop out the precious dried leaves, and pack the empty space with sawdust, nailing the crates shut before anyone notices the weight difference. The stolen inventory goes over the side into waiting skiffs. Teams row the cargo to shore in silence, hauling it off to hidden colonial warehouses across the city long before the sun comes up. By morning, the ship's crews wake to find their cargo bays ransacked and the harbor littered with hundreds of floating, worthless wood shavings. The real prize is locked away, safe and dry. The initial response from the British Empire is pure bureaucratic paralysis. Customs officials spend the day pulling dripping, soggy mounds of wood pulp out of the Atlantic, trying to comprehend what they are even looking at. In reality, the brazen destruction of the tea provoked an immediate, heavy-handed military crackdown that fast-tracked the Revolutionary War. Here, the Crown is humiliated and deeply confused by the sabotage. That confusion creates an administrative bottleneck in London. The resulting delay gives the colonial militias exactly what they need the most: unharassed time to organize, train, and wait. While British magistrates are busy investigating sawdust, the colonial underground goes to work. The stolen inventory hits the black market, moving rapidly through networks of local smugglers and wealthy sympathizers. This flowchart illustrates how stolen cargo converts into military assets. A single chest of tea liquidates into currency, splitting into weapons, supplies, and propaganda. Multiplied by 340 crates, the revenue allows poorly equipped militias to stockpile armaments matching regular infantry. Before the first shots are fired at Lexington, this cash injection helps close the equipment gap, giving the militias a logistical baseline that pure defiance couldn't provide. History books in this timeline teach the harbor raid as a masterclass in financial ingenuity and resourcefulness. The Sawdust Switcheroo stands as the idealized American origin story. The founding myth focuses on sharp negotiation and black market logistics, mirroring the country's later obsession with capitalism. Exploring this counterfactual highlights an uncomfortable reality about how wars are actually won. Grand speeches and symbolic gestures make for great statues, but the unglamorous logistics of supply chains and hard currency are what keep a revolution alive.